Welcome to FIAR 432 Video Production, Module 10, Computer Video Connections, iLink or Firewire, and other links. In this episode, we're going to look at all the various ways in which you can interface video with your computer and how you can access some very simple editing principles and basically how you can put a lot of the ingredients together that we've been discussing throughout the entire semester. Okay, we'll get started now. And the first thing we're going to look at is the video connections, particularly the FireWire. That's what these diagrams are right here. I'll come back and, in a sense, all of the various technologies we've talked about, video, voice, and data. Video is really the giant among all of them in terms of its importance. And if you look at this video page here, you'll see these are all of the connections that facilitate video on current laptops today, and these are things that you want to look for when you are purchasing a laptop or planning on interfacing with a high-definition television or so forth. There really are more video components and connections to computers than there are data links, and it's surprising that video has been so completely appreciated in this respect. Of the three major areas we've talked about, video, voice, and data, if you look at my little chart here, you'll see that there are far more components devoted to video in computers and video, and in many respects in voice as well. Video has been kind of the secret behind almost all of these other media becoming what they are today. Were it not for the influence of video, these media would have been much less exciting. In relation to worldwide statistics, there are more TVs and video-related entities worldwide, and they're used far more than any other form of technology worldwide. Roughly in the 90 percentile worldwide. Voice, which would be telephony and cell, about maybe 59-60% of the world. Computers of some sort or another, in one way or another, perhaps up to 70-some percent. But you can see that video is really on top in terms of its penetration worldwide. In the beginning of this course, we talked about the influences of video, voice, and data, and if you look at the upper corner of this graphic, you'll see old televisions, early black and white television. Over here under voice, you'll see the very uninteresting liquid crystal screens on cell phones, and of course the old computer monitors used to be what they call monochrome, which means basically one color, black and white, or green and yellowish, or green and white. And without video's influence, these things would have been very boring. If you go down to the bottom row, you'll see the new high-definition television under video. The new various iPhones that you see are using video and photography and so forth. And then, of course, now the computer monitors and the various computers are virtually identical to the high-definition televisions now in terms of their size, and of course in the 9:16 ratio. So essentially, you'll see that it was the evolution of video that has made all of these various other media a lot more exciting and a lot more fun to work with, and a lot sexier, so to speak. It's been the improvement of the ability to send signals over wire, particularly because of fiber optics, satellite compression, and so forth, that it's been possible to bring video into these other domains in the fashion that it has. for the sake of time, I'm not going to focus on every one of the many video components, the connections and links. What we're really going to focus on here is the FireWire. And the reason for that is it is the quickest way for you to immediately integrate video with computers. And we're going to look at how that happens right now. As I mentioned, the connection we're going to focus on is called the FireWire, and this diagram here shows you two different formats. There's a 6-pin and a 4-pin version of the FireWire. We're just going to focus on the 4-pin version. The 6-pin is kind of dated now. You don't see it as much anymore. Most people are focusing on the 4-pin. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to actually show you where these wires are, and then I'm going to show you what happens when we plug the FireWire in from the camera to your computer. This is the FireWire plug, and you can see the 4 pins in it, and I am going to essentially insert that into the computer, and I'll do that now. Early on, I showed you where to plug microphones and earphones, your headset, into the side of the computer. You can see the FireWire jack right here that I'm going to plug into, and I'm plugging it in from my camera, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. On this small camcorder I have here, you can see two different inputs shown here. There's the USB, and that's a mini USB connection. This is for sending photographs from your memory sticks on those. The IDV or FireWire connection is what we're going to connect from to the computer, and so that wire we're going to stick in there, and then we're going to stick it in its counterpart in the computer. Okay, when I connect that to the computer, you're going to see a window pop up, and you hear a sound, that ba-dum, ba-dum, and it's going to ask you essentially, do you want to do these various things? The one that comes up by default is capture video using Windows Movie Maker. Okay, so the little box that pops up says capture video using Windows Movie Maker, and this is your basically a prompt window that pops up whenever you plug in a FireWire. Okay, and so you don't even have to think about it. As soon as you plug it in with an active video source like a camera, you will get this window. Once you have seen this, you click OK, and then you're going to get usually immediately it should go to the untitled Windows Movie Maker. And what you're going to want to do is, and it's going to prompt you to ask you if you want to take the image from the specific device. What I'm using here right now is the Panasonic Mini DV camcorder, and it has it highlighted in the box here, so I'm going to go next, yes. And then what you do with all of these things, and let me pause here, it's going to essentially ask you to give it a title. And this is important because when you start dealing with digital files, everything has to have a basic title. So we're going to give it a title, and let me go ahead and type that in. Okay, so I've called this FireWire 1. That's what I call this, what we're going to call this clip. Now, the next thing it's going to do is going to give you a window asking you what quality level you want. And this is important. We're going to look at this more closely right now. There's a pull-down menu that you can choose from, and it allows you to choose all of these various levels of quality. We're going to stick with high quality right now, but it's important, especially when you go on the web, that you may need to keep your file size very small. And so they give you all kinds of choices, and we'll discuss them if you need to know these things. But as I say, right now we're going to stick with the high quality. And so we're going to go next. And we've stuck with high quality. We'll go to the next window, which is the actual video itself. And right now, because I have the camera that I'm showing you that's plugged in, you're looking at me here. Now I'm going to get rid of me in the picture-in-picture, and I'm going to record me real quick, just doing a quick and dirty video here. Okay. So we're going to do one. In the first one, you have the prompt to capture. Okay. So we're going to capture, and it's going to give you the amount of time and the amount of space, and then it gives you the prompt to stop the capture. Okay, so we're going to start the capture, and we're going to make a clip. Okay, here we go. This is going to be clip number 1. Let me make sure I don't get my background messed up. We'll do a horrible extreme close-up, and here we go. Okay, this is clip number 1, and we're basically getting the basic ingredients for this together. I've got about 7 seconds. I'll stop it. We stop the capture there. We're now going to click on to finish. It's now going to change that. It is now named my video clip Firewire, and we'll take a look at that. Now, to watch this clip, all I have to do is click on the clip. Okay, this is clip number 1, and we're basically getting the basic ingredients for this together. I've got about 7 seconds. Okay, so that was my clip there. I called it Firewire 1. I'm going to do one more clip. Well, I'll do either 1 or 2 clips here. I'll do another one real quick. And so the way I do that is I go to the prompt over here where it says Capture Video Device. Okay, and again it's asking me which camera I'm using here, and it's not detecting the device that I have. So now it has, because what happened is the camera went off. This is the Panasonic device. I click on it, I click Next. We'll call this one Firewire 2. And let me put me back in the corner here so you can see me doing stuff. I've got my earphones on. This will be Firewire 2. Again, it's important that you name every file that you do. Okay? We then click Next. We'll keep the same settings. It's again that same window. And now we're into the capture. I'm going to do a picture of the computer just to make it exciting. This time I'll take a picture of my hand on the mouse, clicking, and essentially I'm going to click the Start Capture, which you can see here. So I go ahead and click, and here we go. Okay, I'm starting to capture now. You'll notice that it is actually showing us how much time has elapsed, and it's basically defining what the parameters are. I'm now going to stop it, and then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to finish it, and it's creating a file. And it takes a few seconds, but now I have a second clip, and that second clip is called Firewire 2. And if I click on it, I should be able to see it. There it is. Okay, there's Firewire 2. And if I click on it here, okay, I'm starting to capture now. You'll notice that it is actually showing us how much time has elapsed, and it's basically defining what the parameters are. I'm now going to... Okay, so we have Firewire 1 and Firewire 2, and we should be able to see both of those. Now, the other thing that you can do here is that this program provides you with a storyboard. Let's take a look at that real quick. Okay, we had our first clip, which was called Firewire 1. Now, Windows Movie Maker allows you to drag and drop the clip into its storyboard. And when I do that, you see it says Show Storyboard. We've talked about storyboards. In this part of the program, it allows you to do things like add recordings over it. You can change lengths of things, and We're also going to be able to do some other things in the edit pull down window. It allows you to choose video effects, add titles and credits, and so forth. You can even make an auto movie. But what I've done is I've taken this clip and I now have it in the storyboard. I could then take clip number 2 and add it to this, and we'll do that next. So if I now press play on the storyboard, it should put both of these clips together into one video. Okay, this is clip number 1, and we're basically getting the basic ingredients for this together. I've got about 7 seconds. Okay, I'm starting to capture now. You'll notice that it is actually showing us how much time has elapsed, and it's basically defining what the parameters are. I'm going to let you see again what was going on with the storyboard. You basically rewind it to the beginning clip, and then you do play, and I'm going to let it speak for itself. Watch the line showing you the time frame. Okay, this is clip number 1, and we're basically getting the basic ingredients for this together. I've got about 7 seconds. Okay, I'm starting to capture now. You'll notice that it is actually showing us how much time has elapsed, and it's basically defining what the parameters are. I'm now going to... Okay, now we're going to take this and make this into a little video. What we're going to do is go to the Windows Movie Maker's menu here of what you can do, and if you look at what I'm focusing on close up here, you can add transitions and so forth. So if you go to transitions, for instance, it will give you a series of menus with different options, and they have a lot of different ones that you can do. They have things like checkerboards, and these are what they call wipes. These are all things that years ago would have cost thousands of dollars to do with special equipment. Now they're built right into your computer, and the way they work is we'll take something simple. Let's take the checkerboard across. Now to add this transition to your clip, you right click on it and then you say add to timeline. Okay, you click on that and it's going to be added to the timeline of your transition from clip 1 to clip 2. Okay, we'll watch and see what that looks like. Okay, I'm going to scan the screen here just because I think the resolution is better. Okay, this is clip number 1, and we're basically getting the basic ingredients for this together. I've got about 7 starting to... There was the transition. You'll notice that it is actually showing us how much time has elapsed, and it's basically defining what the parameters are. I'm now going to... Okay. Before we go any further, there are 2 basic concepts that I want you to understand, and this is appropriate for the latter part of this class. We're now getting to where we're putting the ingredients all together for final production. There are 2 classic formats of editing, and the one that we're basically doing here, and the one that Windows Movie Maker is making easy to do, is called assemble editing. We're going to talk about 2 kinds of editing, 2 classic formats of editing. This is called assemble editing, and this is basically all we'll focus on in this class. If I had a second version of this class, which I don't have right now, I may, I would have a focus on insert editing, which is the second kind. But I want you to see what assemble editing is all about. I'm going to disappear here, and I'll make this slide start. Essentially, in assemble editing, you are taking clips and you are stringing them together like you're seeing here. You see the little boxes there, those represent clips. And you basically string the clips and the audios associated with them together, and you make your video that way. And essentially you build a video production, and that's what I basically want you to be able to do in this class, and that's basically what I want us to focus on in this class. That you essentially take clips and sounds and string them together like stringing pearls. And that's what assemble editing is, and that's what we're doing with the FireWire demonstration that I'm doing. It's very simple. If you get your camcorder, all you have to do is basically assemble clips. You download clips, and the clips that we recorded just now, I recorded onto the hard drive of my computer. I didn't even have to use tape to do it. You could do the same thing I'm doing with some webcams that are very inexpensive. So you can basically piece together videos very easily. Now, the other kind of editing we're going to talk about now is called insert editing. Insert editing, and let me show you that slide. Essentially, you start with a whole video and you insert clips in the middle in portions, or you insert audios in portions. It's a much more complicated process, and that's why I don't really want to focus on it in this class. But essentially, you take a whole video and you insert clips or sounds into it. This can be very handy for certain kinds of production, but it's not really what I want to do in this situation. Insert editing is something you should know about, and there are cameras and camcorders that allow you to insert edit right in the camera themselves. Again, if this were an advanced class, I would get into that. Right now, I think that if you will utilize the FireWire and Windows Movie Maker that I'm showing you, you're going to be much further along the game than most people. And so we're now going to revisit our Windows Movie Maker now that we've discussed these two concepts of editing. We're going to now finalize this little pretend clip video that we've done here, this little video production, by putting titles and credits on the beginning and ending. And of course, that's what I want you to do for any final production that you do. You should always have titles and credits, and that's why Windows Movie Maker includes that in its program, and we'll take a close look at that. In the Edit Movie section of Windows Movie Maker, they have the selection there of making titles or credits, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that, making titles or credits, and it's going to give me a window that will allow me to actually build a title and credit. Here's the window here, and it asks you some things, and let me make myself disappear here. Do you want to add this? And I'll show you the bigger window. I'll pull the camera out, and basically my production is still down on the storyboard, but we're going to add a title in the beginning. So I'm going to click on this and say yes, and it's now given me a prompt to do. So I'm going to go ahead, rather than sitting here and typing it, I'm going to go ahead and type it and then pick it up from where I left off. Okay, I've typed in FireWire Video Demo, and if you look over on the screen and you press play, it'll show you what that's going to look like. FireWire Video Demo. This is going to be the title on the front of it. It shows how it fades it in. You can also give it instructions of how to make the transition, how to animate the title, and they give you a prompt on that. Change the title animation. There's going to be a subtitle part, and I'm going to add that now. Okay, so now I've added the subtitle, Assemble Editing with Windows Movie Maker, and if we look over at the little screen here, I'll go ahead and play it. And there you see the little subtitle, FireWire Video Demo, Assemble Editing with Windows Movie Maker. Okay. Now, what we can do with this is we can then add it to the movie, and it gives you a prompt to do that. And here it is right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and you can see now it has added it to the storyboard. One of the easy things you can do, rather than, since I usually like you to do bookend titles and credits, if you right click on this, you can actually copy and basically paste it to the end of the storyboard. So now you have that same title and credit at the beginning and the end. And then if you rewind it to the beginning, you then can play it and watch what happens. Okay, this is clip number one, and we're basically getting the basic ingredients for this together. I've got about 7 starting to capture now. You'll notice that it is actually showing us how much time has elapsed, and it's basically defining what the parameters are. I'm now going to... And then it ends with the credits. And then the last thing we can do now that we've made this little video is we're going to go into the finish mode, and we're going to save to my computer, and it's going to then save. It's going to ask me again to give it a title, and I'll get that going here in a second. Okay, so I'm now saving the movie file. I've called it Firewire Demo with title credits, and now what I do is I go next, and then next, and it's telling me the size of the file. The total file was 8 megabytes, which is about 3 floppy disks. And it is now rendering this, and I'll click finish, and it should go ahead and finish that and then play the video in full size, much like the video you watch when you watch my videos. There's the beginning. Okay, this is clip number one, and we're basically getting the basic ingredients for this together. I've got about 7 starting to capture now. You'll notice that it is actually showing us how much time has elapsed, and it's basically defining what the parameters are. I'm now going to... And essentially that's it. And that's what I basically would like you to come away with, is learning how to do this. Okay. When you've saved your video, it's going to be saved in the subcategory of my documents called My Videos. So you may have a problem finding it if you just look under My Documents. You first have to go to My Videos. You can see it says My Videos here. I click on My Videos, and that title was alpha. It's going to appear alphabetically, and I'm going through my videos, and you can see I've got a lot of video files, but I need to find Firewire Demo, and essentially that's what I'm going to... I had my Firewire clip. Okay, let me get rid of me here. I had my Firewire clip of number 1, Firewire clip number 2, and then finally the Firewire with the titles and credits. And essentially, if I click on it, it's going to pull that same window back up. This is essentially how I'm doing this assignment. It's giving you the ability to... This is clip number 1. Send it, and essentially this is how you do this. And if you have any questions, feel free to call me, but this is essentially what I want you to know from this lesson. And this pretty much completes what I wanted to cover in Module 10. This ends Module 10. Just follow the usual instructions, and we'll be talking very soon. Thanks.